Why do the bears and the children, well, why are they connected? Well, because there's a story in the book of 2 Kings, one of the kings, where a prophet, a bald-headed prophet, was mocked by 42 youths. Many people have interpreted it to be children. There are 2 bears that mauled them. So over the years, whenever I see bears, I worry about something like this.
11 people were injured, 4 still in the hospital after a grizzly bear attack in a remote part of Canada. Authorities say the victims were part of a group of students and teachers hiking in the forest in British Columbia. Those victims were airlifted to the nearest hospital for treatment.
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the President is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers.
Get out of here, Baldy!
At a Christmas tree lighting ceremony, that's according to officials.
On the ground, several people and several different groups of people were fighting violently.
Condition and one in stable condition. This location is about 19 miles northeast of Charlotte, according to a state.
When you see GRIMace in the past, we've noticed that there's some bad stuff that follows. The fact that GRIMace was at the White House wearing a McDonald's MAGA hat, and then the fact that they took it down makes me think, oh my goodness, maybe a shake-up's coming, because he was holding that GRIMace shake. Hello, my friends. Jacob's here one more time. Thank you for pressing the play button, for spending a little quality time with me as we talk about all of the crazy things that are happening in the world that are not just incredibly important for me to point out to you, but also prophetic in nature, meaning that seems like the stories from the Bible continue to play out again and again and again. And I've noticed these patterns. And what I do is I put out little bits of information, little ideas of where I think things could be going. Like if I saw a bear, for example, being featured at Tesla, their new cyber bear, I worried that perhaps there would be some kind of an issue. Maybe some kind of a cyber issue, which we just saw happened with the Cloudflare outage. But also the bears being significant because it's also connected to the biblical story of Elisha and the 42 youths that were mauled by a bear. Now, I've been talking about this story a lot. I've been sharing about it recently. And in fact, I even put out a clip just 2 days ago because there was a bear. They shared the cyber bear. There was plans for this for a while. They were going to do a mural, but you know that bears have, like from that Bible story, the 2 bears, they mauled the youths. 2 bears, they mauled the youths that were kind of making fun of the prophet of God. And what happens the next day? There's a bear attack that attacks a bunch of youths in British Columbia.
11 people were injured, 4 still in the hospital after a grizzly bear attack in a remote part of Canada. Authorities say the victims were part of a group of students and teachers hiking in the forest in British Columbia.
School children, horrible. People got mauled. A hero teacher saved the day. A grizzly bear out of the blue. But not just that. The same day this happens, we have reports that Japan is like on lockdown. Well, not really lockdown, but the U.S. is warning people of bear attacks because they've had 13 bear attacks. Bear attacks seem to be sort of a horrible thing. You got to remember in Scripture, a ruthless leader, a terrible leader, is as a roaring bear. There's some great significance to all of this. I just put things together. I speculate. I look at weird things like, well, I just talked about GRIMace over there at the old White House. That for a second, they put out GRIMace with a shake in his hand, a GRIMace shake, and he was wearing the McDonald's MAGA hat. And I was like, oh no, something when it comes to GRIMace is pretty bad, because if you remember correctly, I saw GRIMace in New York showing up, and I just shared about this. This is ironic because I literally just shared about Luigi Mangione and what happened in New York at the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. I had already been on the lookout. I was like, oh, watch out, GRIMace, New York. There's something going on with GRIMace in New York. And then Luigi Mangione ends up being called the GRIMace Reaper. There was that terrible attack that happened at the Christmas tree lighting in New York. And guess what happened? Just yesterday. You know me. Sometimes I see things, I look at the signs, I look at things that are happening online, I look at stuff online like the fact that GRIMace is right now at the White House. But then the White House deleted it. Donald Trump just did something huge with McDonald's. If you're new to the channel, just so you know, there's a lot of sus commercials and sus advertisements that go out that seem to be linked to major world events. When you see GRIMace in the past, we've noticed that there's some bad stuff that follows. The fact that GRIMace was at the White House wearing a McDonald's MAGA hat. And then the fact that they took it down makes me think, oh my goodness, maybe a shakeup's coming because he was holding that GRIMace shake. Do you remember the GRIMace shake challenge? I talked about all this stuff where everybody was pretending to be possessed and died and demon possessed. It was very weird. They turned into zombies. There's a shakeup maybe coming. And guess what just happened? The Christmas tree lighting of the Millennial Tree in Chicago. There was like a terrible riot of, guess who? Youths. Ironic enough, the Bears, the GRIMace. And what ends up happening? This terrible, terrible event that took place in Chicago, taking the life of a teenager and leaving many, many others wounded. In Chicago. Same time, it just so happens that Benny Johnson and his family are sharing all sorts of wonderful pictures of Trump Tower in Chicago. It's just ironic. Because exactly 45 days before the Chicago incident, I got freaked out. I reshared actually a dream that I had about how there was going to be some kind of an attack on a tower, and I compared it to Chicago. And there you see GRIMace's birthday's in Chicago. I know it sounds weird, but that day, 45 days ago, I wrote, watch and see, pray with me that if a showdown begins, those who stay inside with no need to hide will be the ones who win. Do not get engaged, do not get enraged, just buckle up and get ready for the spin. But above all, do not be lured in. Do nothing but pray and say to those in Chicago today, it's not worth the bullets and pepper spray. Without cause, we cannot lose more freedoms. This is why we need to seek him today. Return to our God in the midst of the storm to prove this fear in my stomach wrong. Remember, 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 God's voice is never heard in the midst of the storm. Pray for calm. I was asking for us to pray for calm because I was worried about what was going to happen in Chicago in a post that I attached GRIMace to. That's coincidental. And in the midst of these terrible events that I promise you we will see an end of. How do I know this? Well, do you remember a little while ago when everybody was saying there's no way that Mamdani will be the mayor of New York? And I said no. I said he's gonna be the mayor of New York. I even put a test out about it, and on the anniversary of me doing so, he ends up as the mayor of New York. But do you know what else I said about Mamdani on one of my shows? Where I said, I don't know if he's gonna be elected, but I gotta tell you, I got this vibe. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's like a sneak attack. And I said that he would be working with Trump. I said it. And why did I say it? Because there was something that Cuomo said, just a little weird little thing that he threw in there. He says, if he wins, Trump will own New York. He will take over New York. Well, August 14th, I said, I had a vibe, I should say, that he will be the next mayor of New York City. I said, I can't in good conscience endorse a man who had a hand in, being the reason that grandmas and grandpas died in New York. Test. I put a test out. I said, no vibes. I just don't think that it's right. The name Zohan Mamdani means the sun shall be praised. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know for a fact on these things. I put little speculations out of it. But I don't know for a fact that this guy is going to be the new mayor. But Cuomo said something, which was interesting. And then it made me think, well, maybe he's going to be. Cuomo said, Mondami wins, Trump is going to end up winning. Trump is going to own New York. That's basically what he said. That alone makes me think, well, maybe there's something to this. Then now that Mondami went to the White House and the two of them met, my goodness gracious, they look like they're best buddies. They love each other, it seems. He's joking around with them. He's patting them. Trump's answering questions for him. All the while, Mondami standing in front of a stealth bomber. It's almost like, was this like a sneak attack? I called it the swerve. Ironically enough, yeah, before it all happened, I said the swerve's gonna happen. 1 year later, boom, here's the swerve. The swerve is, this is all part of the beast turning on the harlot system and putting everything back together because God decided to put into the heart of the beast system to put an end to the harlot system. It's just basically like a correction tool. I told you, if you're doing right in the world, you're gonna be okay. If you're not, it's gonna be hard. And I know that things are hard because I'm working 2 jobs. I'm having a tough time even getting by. I'm a mattress salesman, so it's not like I'm making gabillions of dollars over there, but I love doing it. And I get a chance to seek God, and I get a chance to search more. And that's where I built my YouTube channel up years ago before they started cracking down and they made it difficult. But the reason why I've continued to be on the air is because of people like you. And Christmas is coming. And I already got my first Christmas card from Dave Gross. Oh man, David was the coolest. He said, he goes, let me be your first Christmas card. Have a great Thanksgiving. Eat tons of food and watch the Lions kick some butt. I don't follow sports. He knows this. But that's all right. But look at this. It was like, I felt like it was a really nice thing to get. And also another beautiful Christmas gift from the Cunninghams, which I really appreciate. So all that you do, to support the channel, whether it's through, getting some of the merch, the buckle up, get the hoodie because it's getting cold right now. This is a cool hoodie, right? And get that, support the channel. The links are in the description. Anything through PayPal or Patreon, anything you can do to support is very helpful. Like I said, I don't want to get like a TV. I want to continue to do this. Selling mattresses, helping people find support, pressure relief, and comfort, having stability. I'm working like almost 50 hours every week over there. Gives me a lot of time, and I'm appreciative for it. But I don't want to have to get like another job where I can't do this, because this is my passion. This is my hope, and this is what I've been doing on YouTube since 2008. So, if you want to support the channel, there are ways to do it. All the links are in the description. I appreciate it, because I got to tell you, things are coming along. They're getting better. How do I know this? Well, I've been putting out like weird little things, right? I don't know if you noticed, but beginning of November, I put out a star will fall. In fact, I even put it on the thumbnail to the video where you see walking through like a portal. And I said a star will fall, and I kept with the star, and I kept asking everybody because I didn't know. I felt like there was going to be a big shakeup in MAGA. I felt like someone was going to maybe either step down or be fired. I didn't know who it was going to be. I didn't know, to be honest. So it's like a lot of these things that I throw out there, I know it looks like it's all super great, but it's not like I knew Marjorie Taylor Greene, the MAGA star, is going to resign 45 days after I put this post out where the star is falling. My goodness, I even said it. I said it on one of my videos. I've been putting out a star will fall, but who's the star? That's the question. In any event, you tell me your future-gazing speculation. The system is being, revealed to be what it is. Even on X right now, we see all of the people that you thought were like great American patriots influenced from like other countries, like Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. And there were people from all over the place that were passing themselves off, big influencers with like millions of followers, getting millions of views, probably making a ton of money from another country, getting you all to hate people based on the denomination or where they were from or whether or not they were this religion or that religion. People just sent in, but now revealed, so you know not to listen. We can also see how many people have their positions in other places. Like you can be seen as somebody in the United States, but because you have that information routed there, there's a way to do it. I think they're called VPNs. I don't know. I'm 54. I don't, sell NordVPN. I'm not supported by them. I wouldn't even know how to use it. I'm lucky I can answer your emails when I get them. And I get a lot, by the way. And all of the inspiration, you want to get in touch with me, you could send me a letter, send me a Christmas card, snail mail. All the information in the link of the video below. But just the bear attacks, it was just strange. Then, like everybody was telling me, because, I talked about the use and I talked about the terrible event that happened, and we heard of the kidnapping that just went down. I mean, this is horrible. Even the Pope's already speaking out about this. Something's got to change. You feel it, right? You feel like there's something happening. It feels important. And I want to come on here and I want to encourage all of you not to get stressed about it, but to see the good. Like, people are being revealed to not be who they are. Some people who are making a lot of money, who came in, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who didn't make a lot of money beforehand, but ends up leaving. She's like a multi-millionaire. She's actually walking out the door for a reason. When? Why? Because this MAGA star has fallen. And, well, perhaps we're going to see others join the lot. But I'll tell you, it's weird. You see that GRIMace and you think to yourself, something about the GRIMace. I was just on the Donut Show and we were talking about it. He was asking me about the GRIMace and I was explaining this to him. If you haven't seen the show, you should go back and check it out. There's GRIMace right there, smack dab at the White House. What's GRIMace doing with the White House with a McDonald's MAGA hat on?
It looks like he's doing 6'7".
What's even stranger is the fact that I had a dream of something like this happening in Chicago. In Chicago, I had this dream because I was in the play Chicago. I've talked about it on the show like a year ago or something. And it was attached to this post that I just put out. And you got to listen to the post that I put out. You got to remember, this was like a future warning for something that was going to happen in Chicago, because I felt like at the time, perhaps there'd be some event and then we would see like the troops going on in or something. And we don't want that. We want people to stay calm. We want people not to be engaged. If you see a bunch of craziness happen, to stay inside. That's what the poem was about. I think that that's pretty interesting, right? I think it's pretty interesting. I am a witness. Are you? We're supposed to be. Pay attention to the signs. You can kind of get an idea of what's coming. And I kind of feel like it's going to be okay. I feel like, I put that test out about the stimulus, the $5,000. I'm like, when are those Doge checks coming out? And then it was like exactly a month later or whatever. Trump's like, we're going to be sending out the $2,000. I could use the $2,000, President Trump. Send it out, okay? I could use it because I had the roof, I had the heater, we had so many things. One of the Danielle's surgery where insurance didn't cover everything. We had the car accident the year before. It was like one thing after another, and I know it's the same with you, but I'm thriving. Even though I'm surviving, but I'm thriving, and so are you. You got to understand that God's in charge, right? You got to understand God's in charge, and He cares about you. He cares about me, and God's going to work it all out. So stay right, do right, be good, love others, forgive. Thanksgiving is coming up. Start walking around each day thinking about what you're thankful for. I'm thankful for the fact that I can do this. I'm thankful for the job I'm about to go to. I'm thankful for my family, my home. I'm thankful for all of you. And if you can hit the like button, and you can make sure that you leave a comment, and you can share it around, and you can get involved in Patreon or PayPal or any other way, I'm really grateful for that too. All right, I love each and every one of you. Don't forget, the best gift ever, if you want to get somebody a gift coming up, is the novel The Calling on Amazon. It is on sale right now, which is great. Leave a review if you've read it. It'll be like the best novel you've read. The Calling by Jacob Israel on Amazon. All right, I love each and every one of you. I gotta go. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.